Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. This is Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. Joining us today is Assemblyman Ken Gray. Next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. This is Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. And joining me today is Assemblyman from Assembly District 39, Ken Gray. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
So tell us just real quick a little bit about yourself. We're going to explain why in a second, but you're an Assemblyman for another month or so. But you live in Dayton. You represent Lyon County. Tell us about the district.
It's a funny district the way it's carved up. It's the Central Lyon corridor from Silver Springs, but pretty close to the Lahontan area, and then all of Douglas County. So I actually have to go through P.K. O'Neill's district to get to the rest of my district. So it's a great district. I've got everything from the lake to the Lake Tahoe all the way out to Lahontan. So it's great.
Got it. So this last legislative session, I felt like it was kind of boring until the end. Kind of unusually so. Give us sort of an overview of that. Why wasn't there more things kind of happening? A lot of stuff died at the end, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it was part of a grand plan, a strategy. Being that we're no longer in a super minority in the Assembly or the Senate, and having a Republican governor, we got off to a very slow roll after the bills were introduced, and I think it was part of a strategy at the end for the Democrats to try and push their bills through, and then let ours die either due to sine die or just other deadlines.
Okay. Is there anything else that had anything to do with it? I feel like sort of everybody quietly agreed without saying that there just wasn't enough money to do anything exciting.
That's part of it. There wasn't much money to do anything exciting. There were some budgetary issues that we had to work around. But like I said, I feel it's mostly part of a bigger strategy. And not altogether bad strategy on their part either. It's you play with the cards you're dealt, and they didn't do half a bad job with their agenda and playing those cards.
So what were you and the governor, do you think, Republicans generally trying to get through, not being in a super minority, but at least in a minority? What did you accomplish, you feel like?
My approach has always been to not actually get just everybody, we have a saying, don't marry your bills. You can date them, but don't marry them.
Yeah.
So, you kind of put those out there as an idea or placeholder. And what I've always tried to do is not judge myself on the legislation I get through, but the effect I have on others' legislation, either getting things put into it or getting things taken out of it, more importantly. Couple things I say always when when we pass a law in the assembly or or actually the legislature, it does one of two things. It usually affects your wallet or it affects your freedoms. And I'm not a big fan of doing either one of those unless it's for the positive, But
no, and that's fair. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of like legislative sessions where nothing really happens. I think that's a good thing. So, and then always pleased when there's a lot of vetoes on top of that. And again, I don't love a lot of extra change for the sake of having change. So what do you think is sort of the most impactful legislation that came out of this session?
Well, I wasn't ready for that one. Like I said, a lot of nothing happened this session. But actually, one of the things I really do like, and it's actually Senator Canizaro's bill. I signed on to it, which a lot of people were surprised, but it was something that came back from last session. It was the pre-existing, or not the pre-existing, more or less. It's an assumption of coverage for Medicaid for kids that are born prematurely or with other health issues. A lot of parents, they don't know that because of the way their child was born, the circumstances, that they're eligible automatically for Medicaid. And a lot of people were being cut out of those benefits where the money was already set aside because they didn't apply in time. They just either assumed they didn't have coverage or that they were just not going to be eligible. So we heard testimony from parents last session, this session, where they had a child that fought for life. They were so worried about, the kid's health that they didn't have time to do the paperwork, or they didn't hear about the paperwork. I mean, just any number of issues why they didn't get that application done. And then the child eventually died. And now they get reminders from bill collectors and, letters that, not only do they have, the loss of their child to deal with, they've got the bills on top of it. So the presumption of coverage is a great thing that was actually done. I think that's going to make a difference for some families. And it was a bill that actually added nothing to the budget, which was, I think, an even more of a positive.
How did that not add anything to the budget? I'm curious.
The money's already appropriated for it. It just it just didn't get applied for.
There's national conversation about cuts to Medicaid and those types of things. Those are happening. I think ultimately those are necessary. Is that going to impact? How's that going to impact things like this that local legislators are trying to do?
I actually don't see any cuts to Medicaid coverage for the people that actually need it. They're going after, and the president said this several times. Other folks have said it several times. They're going after the fraud, the waste, and the abuse, and there is a lot of it out there. I mean, you've got these doctors that are overbilling, and that's just an example. It's not widespread, but they're overbilling for services or billing multiple times for the same time frame. Just things you can't, that physically can't be done. You've got people that have signed up that are not eligible or should not be getting it, that should be cut out. So I think ultimately it'll be in a healthier position once it's all said and done.
Doctors that's interesting because my experience with professionals kind of taking government money to serve indigent or at least poor populations, people aren't doing it. It's not worth it to them. The paperwork is ridiculous. The amount of time they spend billing isn't worth it. Is there anything in the pipeline to sort of reduce some of that? Is that a local issue or a federal issue?
Yes. Yeah, it could be attacked from both sides. I mean, there was a time when we had insurance claims in general, even with Medicaid, all you had to do as a patient was submit the bill to them. The practices, the offices, the hospitals, they didn't have to employ billers full time to make their way through the rigmarole that the feds and the state put you through to justify coverage or deal with rejections. It was one and done, and it was good to go.
Got it. All right, we'll have to leave it there. When we come back, we're going to talk about some veterans issues when we come back.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
It's a good time to eat. It's a good time to play.
It's a good time to win.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. This is Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. With us today, if you're just joining us, Ken Gray, Assemblyman from Assembly District 39. So, you're a vet, you're a career Air Force guy, correct?
I am.
What did you do in the Air Force?
For the most of my career, I was a medic or healthcare administrator. Flight medic, combat medic. I mean, you name the role, and I probably did it as a medic.
Okay. When were you in? When did you get out?
87 to 2013.
Okay, so a few things happened during that time frame.
Just a couple.
Just a few. So, and then of course, I noticed I kind of went through the bills that you sponsored. Not in great detail, but the vast majority have to do with veterans issues. So generally speaking, do you think that veterans are sort of underserved in Nevada, overserved? I have mixed feelings about it as a vet. For a lot of reasons, but tell us about that.
Yeah, there's I think it's issue based. It's not so much are they underserved or overserved. It has to go with the issue. And one of the ones we dealt with this session, were the folks that make money off of filing veterans claims. There's some bad actors out there that are taking advantage of veterans. And, the feds aren't really enforcing the rules they've got with, charging for first-time claim stuff. So we just tried to clean that up a little bit so we could protect veterans and let them know that they could file these claims for free. They could get help for free. They didn't necessarily have to go out and pay some to help them with those claims. And it's a convoluted process. I have no problem with somebody paying for somebody to help them, but when they're being taken advantage of, and there are some real egregious stories out there, but that's where we have to step in and protect them to make sure that they get the benefits that you and I pay for as taxpayers that they should be getting for their illnesses and injuries that they incurred while they're on duty.
No, that's fair enough. Is there well, and a lot of that, of course, is federal, so it's not things that you're doing at least not yet on a state level. I want to ask you about this because I'm an attorney, I'm a criminal defense attorney, and so I saw you had a bill that would have allowed guardsmen to invoke the right to a court-martial instead of non-judicial punishment. And frankly, that's something that regular active duty folks can do if they really want to. I was stunned that wasn't. I didn't realize that there was a difference with. I thought the UCMJ was just the UCMJ. I should have known better.
There's a lot of people that that make that assumption. They see a person in uniform, which actually goes to another bill, but they see a person in uniform and they think everybody's treated the same, and it's not not the case. So with the guardsmen, when you go active duty, when you are on active duty, you have the choice. If a commander wants to prefer charges against you or something, they'll usually offer you what's called a non-judicial punishment, or you can demand a court-martial. There's two different levels of evidence. Or two different levels of way to prove. So there's beyond a shadow of a doubt or beyond reasonable doubt if they take it to court-martial and you have a jury, or you can have a trial by judge with non-judicial punishment. All that goes away and you can just say, hey, I'm going to avoid the trial and maybe a harsher punishment and take the non-judicial punishment. And the punishment won't be as severe as a court-martial. So it's kind of a roll of the dice. Well, in the Guard, these guys, they don't have that choice. They, when they're offered an Article 15, it's not an offer. It's like, you're going to get it. And the recourse you have is next to none. The legal representation, you have next to none. So it's just really bad. I mean, you could have a bad actor commander that, for whatever reason, and I'm not even going to go into the myriad of reasons that we discussed, but can say, hey, I'm going to ruin your career, and they can do it. And
Is this obviously, a non-judicial punishment, maybe you get your pay docked, maybe you get reduced in rank, but it's not a criminal conviction as if you went to a court-martial and got in trouble. And most of the time it's for kind of regular stuff. You miss ship's movement, or you do some other sort of relatively low-level thing. What has this been a problem? Are there guardsmen in our state who are sort of being treated unfairly this way?
And that kind of is what led us to this. When they basically summarily did away with that, it made the hair on a couple of the veterans, us that are in the legislature, the hair stand up on the back of our neck when we found out, that was being done. So it's not a matter of whether it's been done or hasn't been done. It's you as an individual. You join the military, you've agreed to have your rights abridged, but not totally taken away. That is a right you have, and you should still have that right. Nobody should be able to exercise that kind of authority over you without some kind of due process or recourse.
Well, and I certainly agree with that. Again, I was kind of surprised the bill did not pass. It didn't ultimately. So hopefully it does a little bit later in the future. So before we go to the next segment, though, so you are shifting your focus to veterans on a national level. Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, I've been asked to serve back in D.C. at the VA central office as the senior advisor to the Department of Veterans Affairs, Memorials, and Monuments folks. So looking forward to that.
Excellent. Well, I got a few questions about that because I'm super curious about it and excited about it. And we'll hear about it when we come back.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. This is Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. If you're just joining us, with me today is Ken Gray, Assemblyman from Assembly District 39. So you're an Assemblyman. You just told us about your new job, working for the VA and the Cemeteries Memorial. I think the official title, Senior Advisor to the National Cemetery Administration at the VA. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what exactly are you going to be doing? Are you going to be working with Captain Sam Brown? Are you going to be, I know that he took a job for the VA. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to do.
Well, Captain Brown has not been officially moved into the position yet. He's still waiting for a Senate confirmation vote. So the shorter answer to that is right now, no. Looking forward, with any luck, he'll absolutely get confirmed, and yeah, we would be, you know, if he's confirmed, working side by side. And good friend, great man, great veteran, and.
So what does that entail? Are you going to be moving to D.C.? Are you going to be traveling the country, making sure that our national cemeteries are in good shape? What exactly are you going to be doing?
Yes and yes. I'll be renting a place for myself back in D.C. Although I'll be back and forth quite a bit between here and there. My family's staying here. Did want to uproot everything and move to D.C. So,
I don't blame you. That sounds awful to me.
It sounds awful to me too. But there's a higher calling here, and it's, you know, as a veteran, father of a veteran, cousin of a veteran, you know, the cousin of a killed in action in Afghanistan. This is just very, very important to me. Not something that I really want to do, is resigning from the legislature, because I love doing that, but this is one of those things that comes along and it's like tugs at your heart. It's like, hey, I can hopefully have a huge impact on families here. And our national cemeteries, they need some attention. There's been a lot of complaints, a lot of concerns, and really hoping to get in there and make a difference.
So specifically, is it just sort of a lack of maintenance? Is it a lack of funds? Is it a lack of people sort of caring about it? I'm curious.
That's what I'm looking forward to doing, is finding out where exactly the complaints and the lapses are. I want to look into what the committees, they've got an advisory committee that has put out some reports. Haven't had a chance to dig into those yet, but I want to look into those. There's always been complaints about the process, about being able to prove, you know, that you're eligible for, you know, for burial in a national cemetery.
Let me ask you, what makes one eligible for burial in a national cemetery? I was a vet. I didn't do a full career. Nobody shot at me, fortunately. But I did deploy 3 times. Am I eligible if I wanted to be buried in a national cemetery?
You would be eligible.
Okay.
Yeah, the deployments, certain campaign ribbons, certain areas of deployment, periods of active duty. That really gets into a much bigger, broader question of, you know, what is actually a veteran for benefits? You know, a lot of people think you serve, you're done after 4 years, you're a veteran. Not always the case. Were you a reservist? Were you active duty? Did you serve time on Title X for anything other than training? So there's a lot of things, and that's one of the things that we're hoping to clarify, or that I'm hoping to get in there and clarify and make it easier for our veterans and anybody that puts on the uniform.
Well, and I agree with that. My last job in the Navy, I ran a reserve center, and you know, the guys answering the call kind of wherever it is, and it's good to honor that. So you're obviously, though, you're moving at least part-time to D.C., so you can't be in the Assembly anymore. So is that, I assume that's not going to be forever?
It's not going to be forever. I do look for me to make a comeback when I do move back to the state. There's some unfulfilled missions I have here, and I absolutely want to tackle them.
Well, tell me about those.
A lot of them go back to our veterans, you know, making things in our state easier for veterans to access or take care of. You know, we talked about the UCMJ issues. We've talked about the issues, you know, people taking advantage of our veterans. Another one is, you know, getting veterans benefits on par for our guardsmen that are on state active duty to that of their counterparts. We had a very rude awakening in this state a couple years ago where a guardsman was killed on state active duty. His family thought they were going to be taken care of. Everybody assumed they were going to be taken care of. The benefits on state active duty for a death in the line of state active duty is not the same as the benefits, not even close to the same benefits as somebody on federal active duty. So we chipped away at that a little bit this session, and hoping to you know, make that more of an issue going forward.
That's surprising to me and unfortunate, and I'm glad that you're doing that. In a broader sense, beyond kind of the veterans issues, do you see what kinds of things do you want to accomplish? I know right now our district's so gerrymandered, it's tough to sort of get that in a state that votes or that's seen sort of a rightward shift. We still have a very, very, very Democratic legislature. Is there anything that can be done about that in the short term?
You know, actually, you hit on something that I actually want to see in the bigger, broader picture. It's going to take all of us to come together and figure out a way to do redistricting on the statewide level, take it out of the hands of the legislature, put it in the hands of the people. What we have right now is not representative of the state. I mean, when you look at the bills that are passed, 52% of the bills that came out of the legislature this year were Democratic Party, and if you add committees and nonpartisan that lean Democratic, you'll find out that they had way more representation in the laws that were being passed than the Republican side. And if you look at the number of bills that were vetoed, it tells me that we are putting legislation out of this legislature that does not represent the people.
So that's the problem, and I agree with that. But what's the solution? I don't know that other states have these nonpartisan committees that really aren't. I don't like that. There's no accountability there, not even sort of a fig leaf of one. What do you think is the answer?
You know, that's I agree with you on both those counts, but I think that's also the best worst answer, if that makes sense. At this point, there's got to be a way to figure this out. I mean, even maybe I've thought about maybe things like jury pools, where you convene, a special committee, where you just pull people out of the, registered voters, and they sit down and they look, and see what makes sense. I haven't looked at the numbers for this session, but last session, the Republican candidates for office had 150,000 more votes than the Democrat side, but they wound up with 2/3 of the seats, and that just doesn't lend itself to good legislation.
Well, I agree with that, and unfortunately, we don't have time to solve that problem today. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the job you guys do.
All right, we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Thank you for joining us on Nevada Newsmakers. That's all the time we have for today. This has been Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. You can join us 24/7 at NevadaNewsmakers.com or download our podcast anywhere you get your favorite podcasts. Thanks for joining us.